Oh, Lord. Damn, I'm hot. I just got out of the shower. You ever take a shower and you're like sweaty and you feel like you're still wet, but you're actually sweating because you took such a hot shower? So I've been doing a lot of videos lately, and a lot of them are really just for me, like almost like a diary. But there's stuff that I've dealt with in life, and I've spent a lot of time working through and finding some sort of perspective on, and so I feel like it's important to give back. And insecurity, it's a big one, because we all have it. And when we're insecure about something, we tend to kind of keep it a little bit more low key. Maybe we try to mask it with something. Maybe we try to do make a bunch of accomplishments. I have horrible allergies, so I always have like little pieces of tissue on me, so I'm always looking for them. So insecurities. Yeah, I mean, people go about it by trying to achieve a lot. They go about it by trying to put other people down. They go about it all kinds of different ways. And some people, like me, I think being an ENTP, especially being a 7 in the thinking triad and having that like fear of a dark place, I always choose to just confront things and deal with them head on. So I'm going to start out by just talking about some of my insecurities, because I think that at the end of the day we're all humans, and I think we all have pretty much an equal number of insecurities. I think one of the big problems is idealizing people. We look at other couples, social media these days, people are only posting their trip to Hawaii or the Philippines, or when they're climbing or when they're skydiving, and they're not really posting real life. And so we have this idealized idea of somebody. We don't see the fights, we don't see the struggles, we don't see the tears, we don't see any of that. And so we compare our lives, and of course we see all those things in ourselves, and so we say, well, we have all these things, or I don't have this, or they have this perfect love. And so we're always comparing ourselves to somebody else, especially in this day and age. And that's really difficult because we're all on our own path. And so at the end of this path for everybody is death. And there's no point in rushing through it. We're all here to work on our stuff. And it doesn't matter if we're here to enjoy life. And if you're doing what you enjoy, if that's maybe just sitting and painting, or it's writing, or it's reading, or it's taking your dog for a walk, or whatever it is, that's fine. That's totally okay. You don't have to be taking a big trip somewhere, or doing these things to compensate. So I think one of the issues is idealizing other people. For myself, there's different kinds of insecurities for me. So my teeth are fucked, right? So I'm insecure about my teeth. I don't know. It is what it is. I have some health issues that probably contribute, and I don't know. There's nothing. It is what it is, right? I can address it and will address it over time, but sometimes there's things that cause a lot of anxiety, and so we don't want to deal with them right away, or we can't deal with the disappointment, or we can't deal with the frustration, or just whatever comes from it. So we're not dealing with something right away. I think that's part of, like, for me, not having a partner, being single. There's more things that I'm like, okay, I can handle that, I can be strong, I can deal with that when I have support through it, when I have somebody to lean on, or somebody to cry to, or somebody to just say, fuck, I'm really scared. So there's that. Let's see what else. I'm balding. I can't control that. I don't really give a fuck about that because I always like shaving my head. I'm not super tall, and I'm pretty skinny, but that never bothered me, primarily because I like moving fast. I like being agile, and the things I've enjoyed in life are really conducive to my body type. So I've never been like, oh, you gotta be a big guy to get a girl, or whatever. I just figure, fuck it. Some girls like big guys, some girls like smaller guys, some girls like dudes in wheelchairs. Like, there's no accounting for what people like. So that's something that I'm just like, whatever. My house. I'm not proud of my house. The thing is, it's paid for. It's cheap. It's shitty. I don't like it. I don't have any pride in it. but it's super functional. And that's another thing. Like, I'm very functional, so uh, a lot of my life is function, and it doesn't really nourish my soul, but I don't always know how to do that, and as a result I end up feeling more comfortable in other people's houses. I choose, I actually once upon a time made a lot of money and was miserable as shit, had an ulcer, dropped to like 119 pounds, and it was an awful time in my life. But I was really successful by other people's measures, and uh, I don't know, man, that was an awful time in my life. But I was like accomplished. So it's really weird because now I always say I'm broke by choice. BBC, bought by choice, broke by choice. And so I don't have a lot of money, and I don't spend a lot of money. I don't need a lot of things. At the time, my perspective was I can either make more or I can spend less, and I've opted to spend less and have more time for me. Um, God, what else am I insecure about? I'm sure there's a ton of stuff. I mean, you we're all insecure about so many things, but to help you eh, manage it, I think in part my hope is as an ENTP I share a lot, hoping that other people find some comfort in that and they feel more comfortable sharing or addressing their issues or their problems. Oh, good lord! Another thing. This is actually kind of funny because I get cocky about it. Not cocky, more confident, but I never graduated high school. I never went to school past the eighth grade. And I've never felt like self-conscious about that. I was always the right choice for me. I'm happy I did it. I think it was a great choice. Um, but sometimes there have been times where there's so much pressure on people to succeed, and there's so much accolades given towards academia that there have been times where I was like, I want to have this thing, I want to have this accomplishment. And as I've gotten older and wiser, I'm happy not to have the student loans. I'm happy not to be tied to a bunch of things. I'm happy I didn't go that path. I have kids. I love my kids. It was the right choice for me to be fairly young and have kids that are all driving and, you know, are doing their own thing. They'll all be voting in the next election. Good Lord. That's really nice, and I can't put a price tag on that. So I'm happy I went that route. I've, you know, kind of followed everything I've wanted to do. But being an ENTP and a 7W8, I've never given a fuck what other people think. And I've always been able to very quickly deal with people's criticisms and so on. And you maybe are not able to do that as easily. So I think one of the biggest things I can suggest or recommend if you're having insecurities is to always keep in perspective that everybody has insecurities. Even the people that look like they don't, a lot of their biggest assets or accomplishments are probably covering some of those insecurities of inadequacy or never feeling smart enough or whatever. I have a really good friend that she's a federal judge, and she used to own her own law firm, and she had helped me on some legal matters once, and we were sitting outside the courthouse, and I just remember I was always so impressed with her. She's literally one of the most intelligent humans I've ever met, and not only intelligent but wise. And I remember her being like, you know, sometimes I'm in front of, and I'm paraphrasing of course, but sometimes I'm in front of, you know, I'm on trial and I'm defending somebody. I'm in front of all these people, and I'm in front of the judge and jurors and the prosecutor, and I just have this moment where I kind of panic, and I'm talking, and I'm like, why is everybody looking at me? I'm just a little girl. I don't have any clue of what I'm doing. And it was really healthy for me to hear somebody that I kind of saw as a mentor and idolize say, like, I go through that same shit you go through, like, where you're just like, holy shit, I'm just a little kid. I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, fuck. Like, why is everybody looking at me? So I think perspective is just so fucking important. Like, you just can't put a price on it. You can't put a price on that. You can't compare yourself to other people's accomplishments. That's where all of our insecurities are rooted, is in comparing ourselves to other people. And it's through that contrast that we find these flaws in ourselves. And we say, oh, well, we fail to say I'm great at this thing, and we just focus on they're better at that thing. And I think that's a really dangerous slope. Also, self-esteem, God, I think it's one of the most important things to work on for yourself. Like, I think it's really important to be okay with yourself and start with little things. Always speak with good intentions and with honest intentions, and understand that you're not going to make everybody happy and you're going to disappoint people, and just focus on the most authentic communication you can for where you're at in your life right now, and just being true to yourself, always being true to yourself in the littlest ways possible. And it takes a long time, but it snowballs and you get better at it, and it becomes something that you thrive on and you feel really good about. And it feels good to be able to admit. It feels good to say I got fucked up teeth. It feels good to say I'm balding. It feels good to say I hate my house, that I'm broke, that I'm whatever. It feels good because it doesn't have any power over me anymore. It's something that I have power over. It's something I dictate. And I think that's important, to get on top of your insecurities and fears and regain control, so that they're not controlling you, but you're controlling them, and you dictate when they come out, and you lay out the terms for you and yourself and how they impact you. Did I get off task? I kind of feel like I got off task. A lot of times, I'm sitting, like, I'll take a shower and I do all my thinking in there. I probably, like everybody, right? And I get out of there and I forget what the fuck I was going to say. And so I'll sit down and have an idea while I'm in there, and I want to do a video. And I just have a general idea of what I'm going to do, and I don't write anything down. I just let it kind of flow, which makes me seem a little sporadic in my thought. And I prefer you just see the thought train unravel and nothing rehearsed. And if I fuck up, I fuck up, and if not, well, I'll probably fuck up. But so that's it. Hopefully this helps somebody, and comment if you have any questions or comments.